Good morning. Sorry, it was a stupid time for me to start recording because I was doing something at the same time. Let me make sure I think you can hear me. Okay. Uninterrupted video today. No children at home. So I thought that I would go on with oregano oil today, considering yesterday we did On Guard and Easier, both of which are used when you're unwell. So going on with oregano because you will often use that when you are unwell as well. Sorry, I know you're a lot. This is an odd angle. It's the only place I can position you. So I actually did a bit of research. Oh, sorry, crack of the neck. On oregano oil because I use mine, but probably not as effectively as I could. So I kind of figured, I've been using oils for a while. If I'm not using oregano oil as well as I could, then I'm going to assume that maybe a lot of you might not be using your oregano oil as often as you could. I've just realized I don't have my emotions book. So if anyone happens to jump on and has an emotions book handy that can tell me, hold on, I'm just going to message Kylie. Give me 1 minute. Sorry, I should have done this beforehand. Sorry, what? Sorry, I'll get that answer for you by the end of the video. So, oregano oil. I'm going to assume maybe you might have tried it in a bolognese sauce. Great. Maybe you might have used it when you were starting to get unwell. But I'm going to enlighten you on a few other ways that you can use it today. So I've got a lot of notes, and I have to say a lot of them I didn't know. So in terms of why oregano oil is so effective when you're unwell is because it is an amazing oil. It's got a lot of antibacterial properties and antifungal. So there's a lot of comparison in studies that are being done with oregano. So there's a significant amount of scientific studies on it now. So this is not just, me saying what other people have said. It is science-based. There's actually a lot of studies done that are comparing oregano oil to antibiotics and saying that it is more effective than a lot of antibiotics because of its antibacterial and antifungal properties. So I am going to actually link an article from Dr. Axe. If you don't follow Dr. Axe on Facebook, I would highly recommend it. Dr. Axe and Dr. Eric Z are both US doctors, and they both reference a lot of natural health stuff, especially essential oils. And I get a lot of information from there. So I'm actually going to link an article probably in the comments that has all of this information for you. It's got references to studies that have been done, and you can read all of that yourself. There's probably some conditions that I can't actually say because compliance wise, I'm not allowed to say that essential oils can treat or cure or anything like that. But the article says a lot of those things, so maybe you might be able to read between the lines, or there's a high chance that I might accidentally say them anyway. Just don't tell anyone. Okay, so oregano oil, in the flu bomb that I've referenced, that I am going to put a picture of up on this page today. Oregano goes in there, fighting bacteria. It's really, really effective in your body. Now, it is also really amazing for, believe it or not, digestive health. It relaxes your GI tract, which is really good for keeping your digestive system moving. It also can help prevent bacterial overgrowth in your large intestine. So you might have heard of conditions like SIBO, which is bacterial overgrowth in your small intestine. So it can help with your digestive system in general, but it's really, really effective in helping to prevent bacterial overgrowth there. It's also really good for toothaches and earaches. Now, I will talk about tea tree in one of the next videos. And tea tree is great for earaches as well, but not if they're bacterial. Well, it will work because all oils are antibacterial. Definitely something to remember. But some are more effective than others. So oregano is really effective for an ear infection and for toothache. So you can ingest oregano oil, so you can put it in veggie capsules top up with some coconut oil and ingest it that way. If you're applying topically for earaches, you can put a couple of drops of oregano oil on a cotton ball, put that in the ear, just rest it in the ear, and it'll help to draw out the infection. And then you can combine some oregano oil with some coconut oil or some type of carrier oil and rub it like on the front, around the front of the ear, down the neck, and up the bone at the back. Now, the thing with essential oils, and I think I've said this in one of the other videos, is you need to be consistent. You can't expect that essential oils are going to work miracles if you're not consistent. If you apply them once or take them internally once, don't think that that's it, you're done. If you went to the doctor and you had an infection, they gave you antibiotics, their recommendation is that you see out the course of that antibiotics. So same goes with essential oils in terms of it's about being consistent. And when you're consistently feeling better, then stop. Don't just at the first sign of, oh yeah, that's going, I'm good. You need to still probably keep going for a couple of days after that so that they can actually work as effectively as possible. With a toothache, you could apply to the jawbone. You could also, with a toothache, do oil pulling and add oregano oil to that, and you swish like coconut oil or something, olive oil or something like that around your mouth. For Chinese medicine, they actually suggest sesame oil, not the toasted sesame oil that you get from the supermarket though. You'd have to go to a health food store and get sesame oil, organic sesame oil. So yeah, you can swish that around your mouth and that will pull bacteria out of your mouth as well. Plus you've then got the oregano oil, which gives you added benefits for your toothache. Athlete's foot. Oregano oil is really good for athlete's foot in like a foot bath. So combine it with some Epsom salts or something like that and mix it to make sure that it's all being distributed, because again, water and oil don't mix. Don't just place oregano oil straight into some warm water and then submerge your feet. You need to disperse it through that water. So mixing it with Epsom salts or something that's going to help break it down is much more effective. And then you can submerge your feet and it's really effective for athlete's foot. I don't know if I'm actually allowed to say this word. I'm going to say it anyway. There's been a lot of studies that have shown that oregano oil is really effective for parasites, obviously given the properties that we've spoken about, but it's also really, really high in antioxidants, one of the highest oils in its antioxidant properties. So for inflammation, it's really great. In terms of aging, it's also really, really effective. Not one that I am telling you to apply to your face. It's a hot oil, so I would not recommend adding that to your skincare routine, but you can take it internally, and because of its high antioxidant properties, it can help fight off free radical damage, which can help with aging. If you have a Pinterest account and you type in oregano oil into Pinterest, you're going to get a heap of graphics that come up with so much information about oregano oil. And there's so many different ones. So there's graphics that talk about oregano oil for respiratory health. It's really good for sinus relief as well. So if you put oregano oil and like easy air or something into a bowl of hot water, and then you put a towel over your head and you give yourself like a steam bath, oregano oil is really amazing for helping your sinuses. I'm not going to say that it cures sinusitis or anything like that, but it's helpful. I think that might kind of be it. there is, on one of the links that I'm going to provide, it does actually tell you the ways you can use it, and it even gives you quantities. Now, bear in mind, if you're taking them in a veggie capsule, it depends on what you're comfortable with. So I hear a lot of people talk about ingestion and what they ingest, and it's not necessarily what I'm comfortable ingesting, but you know you and I know me. So go with what you're comfortable with. Always start with less, because you can increase, but you can never take away. So if I am like making up a capsule and I'm putting oregano oil in it, I put like 1 drop, 2 at the most. Now the link that I'm providing for you about oregano oil, he actually mentions, and bear in mind he is actually a doctor who also, he just specializes in natural health, but he's also trained in Western medicine. He says you can take oregano oil, 2 drops in a veggie capsule twice a day. And he says that at the most he would not continue using it for longer than 2 weeks at a time because of how potent it is. I personally have never needed to use oregano oil for 2 weeks. At the most, I've maybe needed to use it for 3-4 days in a row, and that's it. But then again, I'm not using it for, how am I going to say this compliantly? I'm not using it for digestive purposes and any bacteria that might be there. So yeah, definitely have a read of the link. I know that this is more of a long-winded video. I feel like I'm so free without children interrupting it. But yeah, have a go of using your oregano oil, especially coming into the colder months. Start diffusing it. It doesn't smell amazing, but when you can combine it with other oils, remember frankincense enhances the effects of every other oil when it's combined with it. So you could put frankincense and oregano, or maybe some wild orange in your diffuser, especially coming into winter, killing any airborne bugs that might be floating around. It's just a really good one to help get on top of things. As soon as you start to feel maybe a little bit of like pressure, like you're going to come down with something, oregano oil would be the first one I would reach for in combination with On Guard. So I hope that is helpful. When you think about ingesting it and anti-aging and fighting free radical damage, put a bolognese in your menu planner every week and get some oregano into you. Yeah, otherwise, I know that I'm seeing a lot more people posting useful stuff that they found, which I love. Thank you, Amanda, for posting lots of wonderful information for people. You're doing an amazing job. So if you find recipes, like I know that I'm hearing a lot of people say, oh, I Googled diffuser blends for this. Please feel free to add them to the album that Kylie has created. It's really nice to have a resource for everyone to go to, because I know that sometimes you just want a little bit of inspiration about what oils to combine for what purposes. And yeah, so definitely put them in there. I might create an album as well that is like education. So things like the graphic that I posted this morning about pain would go in there. Graphics about how to use oregano oil. Links to any of those articles could go in there as well. So we might start one of those, and then you've got your own little handy resource that you can access whenever you need to. So yeah, please feel free to add to those. It's always really helpful for people, for it to not just be Kylie and I that are trying to cover all of our bases, because there's so many of you in here, and I'm sure you are all using oils for varying different reasons, and maybe you're using them for different health purposes. So I'm sure that we can spread a lot of love that way and give a lot of information and education. All right, I will be back tomorrow again, hopefully uninterrupted, with another oil. I don't know what it's going to be, but it'll be another one from your Home Essentials kit. Have a great day.